Wow, we are live. I'm at Skating PJ. This is Kaetlyn Osmond. Oh my goodness, Kaetlyn, how exciting is it to see you? Last time we saw each other was before all of this COVID kookiness, and we went out for lunch, which was very civilized.
We did. I almost went to the bakery that's attached to that restaurant today.
For a little bit of curbside pick me up, takeout, whatever. What is your go-to treat during all of this?
That's a good question. I'm still candy obsessed, so I always have a bag of Sour Patch Kids in my cupboards. But I've been craving cinnamon buns for like 2 weeks now, and I still haven't gotten one.
Cinnamon Hearts, courtesy of my daughter on my birthday. So good. Yeah, they're really good. It used to be much more full bag than this, but it's sitting right beside me. Listen, before we get too far down the road, I want you to know that we have a lot of special friends at the North Renfrew Long-Term Care Center. And in particular, Sandra is a huge skating fan. So if we could just take a minute to just say hi to Sandra, that would be amazing.
Hi, Sandra.
So, Sandra, in case you're wondering, this is world champion and Olympic medalist Kaetlyn Osmond. Pretty exciting stuff. Okay, so why is it your hair looks like that and my hair still looks like early Bieber, even though I flipped the part around today just to make it, something different?
One is that I have a lovely mother who dyed it for me. Because I might be 24, but I have a lot of gray hair. So my mother dyed it for me. And I actually washed it today for like the first time in a week. So I think that's something.
I feel honored. Listen, I put on a scarf. And in case anybody wants to know, this is my favorite question that goes through everything. Who's wearing business on top and pajamas on the bottom? Let us all know. Yeah, me too, actually. So we have comments and questions that are going to come in via Facebook, on my Facebook page, and also on YouTube. Wait, my daughter Amanda, she's saying, you're welcome. And the you're welcome comes from the fact that she's the one who actually got me the cinnamon hearts. So Amanda, thank you very much. And it's just as well she's watching, because that means she'll stay in the wheel. You know how it is. Well, you got to do things. So people are going to want to know, what have you been doing with the lockdown? How have you been keeping fit? What have you been up to? Tell me all about it.
For the beginning of the lockdown, I was thankfully with my parents. So I got to spend a lot of time with them. I recently came back to Toronto, so I'm stuck in my apartment now. But it's been pretty good. I've been the first couple of weeks, I kind of just shut down completely. I shut down with everyone else, and I just wanted to lie down and watch TV and movies all day. I watched a lot of TV. I watched like 8 seasons of Grey's Anatomy in a week.
Oh my goodness.
But then I actually got more motivated, and I wanted to do more things. And the way I've been keeping fit is actually teaching sessions through Zoom. So first I started off with my coach, Ravi. He convinced me to teach a session for his kids. And then I kind of just went from there. And now the more I do, the more requests come in. So it's been a lot of fun. And I oddly like teaching through Zoom. I don't know why.
So are you teaching from inside your apartment? Like, do you have to move the furniture around? Have you got to get the dog and cat out of the way? What's what?
Usually my dog sleeps all day until right before I decided to do a Zoom session. And then my dog was trying to stretch or do the core workouts with me. But yeah, I had to be clever. I have like the computer set up on my couch. I have everything pushed up against the walls. Yeah.
Here is a really cool comment. We've got the regular characters like Elizabeth Cardosa-Taylor, Janice Gaiman. We say hi back to you. Murray Anderson, my sort of ice rink husband from time to time. He's a music player, as you know. And this is a comment from Brazil. This is coming in via YouTube. This is Victor Garcia Neto, and he almost had a heart attack in the free skate from the Olympics. How were you during that free skate?
I think I had a heart attack during that skate. No, that skate, it's crazy. I still think back to it, and I felt like such a robot on that day. Like I knew my job, I knew what I wanted to do, but I was so nervous. So I thought my legs were just kind of gonna give out underneath me. And then every time I landed something, it like shocked me that I was on my feet. And I was just like, oh, I'm a lot more solid than I thought I was.
Yeah. There is a wonderful question coming in here from Karen Butler. Tell me what you think about this.
Ooh.
That is a good one. Tell them about your blog and where they can find it.
So I've been writing a blog mainly for myself. Well, it started off for myself, and now I'm trying to make it more relatable to a lot of people. But it started off with me feeling, having a lot of things on my mind and wanting to get them out and get them, I don't know, I think I just needed to write it down. And just writing it on my own notebooks, it didn't work. So I published it. And you can see them on whatsupcoco.com. And yeah, they're a little different. They vary a lot. I have some just of family traditions. I have some of whatever in the world I'm going through at that moment in time. Some are reflections, some are looking forward into the future. And actually today I posted one of an interview that I did with Kaetlyn Weaver about open ice.
You know what's so cool about that? I happen to have a picture of you and Kaetlyn Weaver together. Let's just see if I can find it in my stack of pictures. I want you to tell me what was going on in this moment. We're looking at Kaetlyn Osmond on the left and Kaetlyn Weaver on the right. Go.
Well, it's very rare that there's not someone between us, because then we make a Kaetlyn sandwich. But that picture was taken right before we went on the ice for one of the Thank You Canada shows. I'm not sure which one it was. And we always have like these goodies, like good little handshakes, funny little quotes that we say to each other before we get on the ice to skate. And I have a feeling that's when that picture was taken. And thankfully it was when we were laughing, and who knows what our actual handshake is, but that one's a secret.
Shh. Secret handshakes. Boy, what else goes on tour that we don't know about? Come on, just give us a tiny little thing, just an incy, like tell me what it's like just before you go out to skate. Like not the, maybe just even the opening number. The announcer is just starting to welcome people into the venue, and the start of the show. What is it like backstage for you guys?
We're pretty much running onto the ice. Well, if you're anything like me anyways, for some reason, when I competed, I was always like 20 minutes early before I got on the ice. Show me is very different, and they'll give us like the 5-minute warning before we get on the ice, and I'm like scrambling to get my dress on still. I don't know if that's a good way to be. I'm usually like running out, putting lipstick on. But yeah, right before we go out on the ice to perform, we have our goodies. So we have a handshake with each individual person. And then we've gotten to the habit in the last number of tours that I did actually that we'll actually do a group huddle before we get on the ice. And it's really comforting. It's fun. And there's always a candy table right before we get out. So sometimes I'm still eating candy during the opening number.
That is out of control. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the Olympic medalist here that she's always eating candy, but that's okay. Good for you. Me too. This is a comment from a fan in Russia. Do you have any fond memories of skating in Russia?
The only time I've skated in Russia is Olympics.
That was a good time to skate there.
I think it was a pretty cool time. I didn't compete that well. I was 13th in my individual event, but I came second in the team event. I had a really strong team, and I really thank them for that. Because coming second in Russia at my very first Olympics, within the first couple days of the Olympics, was pretty cool.
You know, people don't maybe realize that you have the complete set. You've got a bronze, silver, and a gold. We want to know, where do you keep your medals?
You see that white shelf right there, but next to my garbage can and guitar? That is where my medals are. They're in a drawer. They're not even on the actual shelf, so they're in a drawer.
Do you ever take them out and just look at them?
No, actually. But I remember when I first moved into my apartment, I had a couple of friends come over, and one of them asked for them, and I had to think, and I'm like, where did I put those? But then I took them out, and I don't know. It's pretty cool when other people want to see them. I don't look at them very often.
If you can remember little Kaetlyn,
yes.
I mean, would little Kaetlyn ever have thought to have received one Olympic medal, much less 3? And
little Kaetlyn, I'm old Kaetlyn now, and retired Kaetlyn, and have the medals. I still don't believe it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yesterday, actually, I went into that same drawer, and I was moving things around trying to find cords that were underneath them. And I was like holding my medal, and I was like, oh yeah, that happened. But little me, no. Little me never would have thought that.
It's so interesting. So when I see this picture, tell me the moment where this picture is taken. We're going to talk about Off the Rock in a second, but this is you and your amazing coach, Ravi Walia. Tell me, where are you and what are you thinking?
Well, in that picture, it looks like I'm in Newfoundland. But no, the actual picture itself, before it was all glamorized, was taken when I found out I was second at Worlds in Helsinki. And I was the last skater in that event, and I was second going into the long program. Evgenia just had the skate of her life, and I had the skate of my life up to that point. And I was so excited, and there's like this feeling that I was wanting to get all season, and it seemed like I was just out of reach for it. And that was my goal, was to get that feeling, and I got it. That minute that I hit my ending pose, I was just like over the moon excited. And then when I found out I came second, I was in shock. I think Ravi was in shock. Everyone was in shock. So yeah.
What is your favorite medal to date? Like that represents like that moment of success. It can be anything.
There's so many that have different reasons. Like my very first national title that I won, the third national title that I won. Actually, all my national titles that I won. There's only 3, but each one of them were like very different. I think my Olympic one was, well, the first time I came second at Worlds, it was pretty shocking because I didn't expect it ever. And then at Olympics, when I heard my score, I didn't even clue in the fact that I was going to hit the podium. But when I heard my score, I didn't realize I yelled. I watched the video not long ago, and I actually squealed, and Ravi did too. And Ravi never has that reaction. And then I also found a picture. I wish I had it on hand with me, but I don't. But I found an amazing picture of Mike Slipchuk off in the corner, like screaming. And I was like, I really wish he was in that moment more, but he was a little too far out. But yeah.
Mike Slipchuk, nice way to speak, right? As the high performance director for Skate Canada. So he was with you probably every step of the way.
He was. Mike's
an Olympian himself.
Yeah, Mike's incredible. And I always felt so comfortable when I knew he was there. He was always right beside the ice or near Ravi when I was getting ready to go onto the ice. And I don't know, he was like my homing device. I sometimes looked for him while I was on the ice just to feel familiar with something. And it was always Mike.
I want to talk a little bit more. Let's go back to Off the Rock for a second. Great name, by the way. And tell me a little bit about what it's all about.
Well, you named it, so I'm glad you liked it.
I know, I did.
Nice meal of Mandarin. Wondering what I should name something. But Off the Rock is an initiative that myself and my friend Matt Power created in Newfoundland, and it was mainly just to get back to my roots and remember where it all started for me and to be able to give back. Newfoundland has created so many opportunities for me. It's where I started skating, and I wanted to continue that there. So we started an initiative where we got skaters to apply for camps and seminars, and it got postponed, obviously. With the moment, yeah. But we got 8 seminars done across Newfoundland. And from there, we chose a group of skaters that we thought showed a lot of determination, a lot of passion, and some natural talent, of course. And from there, we were going to have a final camp, and I would choose 2 skaters to go to Alberta to train at the Ice Palace. And the main goal for it was to experience a high-level training atmosphere with all the bells and whistles that the Ice Palace has between the on-ice and the off-ice session. Be able to incorporate that back into Newfoundland.
And do you find that it takes you back to sort of your early days when you're in that kind of situation?
For sure. There's only so much you can learn at a day-long seminar.
Yeah.
But I love the excitement and the friendship that people build throughout that. And that's what I loved about skating, especially when I was younger, because I didn't know much of competitions. And when you're really young, there's not many competitions all year. I've never been a fan of training. Training just sucks. So these seminars were a great way for me to meet new people, have a different training day, and yeah, just have a lot of fun. So that's been my main goal, is to keep doing more of those.
Can you tell me about what was that?
I'm still working with them through Zoom. I'm with the final group that I was chosen with we work twice a week on stuff.
Now, who are these skaters? Can you tell me about them?
Those skaters were from the very first seminar that we did of Off the Rock in Newfoundland. It was the day after the Rock the Ring tour. So Jeremy Abbott stayed with me to help out for a day. And we kind of let it off for a little bit of a surprise for the kids. And he was incredible. And for the first day seminar, when I was like running around with my head cut off, it was really nice to have him. But they were the first skaters, and actually about half of them are in the final camp.
That's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that you want to see going forward? Like permanently, 20 years down the road, still doing it kind of idea?
I would love to. This year might get pushed into a 2-year version of it because of life. But in the future, I would love to continue it and love to expand from it. I started inviting in a couple of different coaches, mainly my friends. So I had Jeremy Abbott on the first round, and I brought one of my friends, Garrett McKean, in for the second round of seminars that I did. So he came and did 3 of them and taught just edges and ice dance. So it was really fun to have him, and I want to continue that and bring in like choreographers and jump technique specialist people, and kind of touch on every part of the sport.
A couple of quick messages for you. One from Stephanie Gelina, hi to you and me, and another from Lori Robertson, who remembers little Kaetlyn skating at Quatre Glace. Do you remember those days?
Oh, I remember them very well.
Now, this is a great question coming in from Karen Butler. What's your favorite program ever?
Oh gosh, I have no idea. All my programs had something special. For me, there was always something that like I connected it with, whether it was a new style to try to fix my skating. We started going a bit classical to help me like get a better skating style. Whereas opposed that the fast stuff was just a lot of fun, a lot of transition. So I got to play around with those. So there's been so many favorites, so many challenges that I love jumping in on and seeing what I can do with it. So yeah, I have no idea. If I had to choose, it would probably be at FPF or Black Swan.
Black Swan, come on now. That's my favorite. That was just a quick hi from Beth, but this is actually the question I want to know what you think of. Do you prefer to compete with music that has words or without?
That's a really tough question, and it's something that my coach and I, Ravi, have really talked a lot about when we were initially planning on putting lyrics into my music. Because there's some pieces of music that work really well with lyrics, like the lyrics enhance the musicality behind it. What we decided was that if we could handle the music and if it sounded great without the lyrics, then we would decide that would be the initial deciding factor for that program. And then if we thought that the words made it sound better and made it clearer, or told the story better kind of thing, that's when we would add in the lyrics. But that was the biggest thing. We had to know if the music was strong enough to hold its own without the lyrics.
Interestingly, this is a question for me now. I want to know if you've got a YouTube playlist of 3 programs only that you can carry with you for the rest of time. What would those, you know what, there are many more than 3 programs. Let me just say that so you don't have to worry about forgetting any. But are there 3 programs of anybody's that you like to look at? They can be show programs, they can be competitive programs, they can just be a skater.
You really threw that on me there, didn't you?
Part of what I do.
Just Be My Lad.
Yes.
By Kaetlyn and Andrew. That program is
exquisite.
Oh my gosh, it's so heartfelt. So incredible. Tessa's and Scott's Carmen.
Oh my goodness. It's my favorite.
I skated to Carmen that year and I was like, well, that's not fair. I need a third. There's just so many. I'm thinking really, really hard. For some reason, it's always dance programs. Is that weird?
No, but you know what? What I love about the dancers is their ability to sort of express a story and a dynamic. When you're skating by yourself, you can express a story, but you're kind of talking to yourself. With ice dancers and with pair skaters, but mostly ice dancers, for me, they're telling sort of a story that they're sharing together. That's what I love about them.
Okay. Well, then to add to the dancers is Piper and Paul and their
Yeah.
Van Gogh Starry Night.
Yeah. Oh, please. I just want to, I don't know what. Gina wants to let you know that Black Swan was wonderful, but Piaf was her favorite. And actually,
Piper Gillies helped me pick that music.
did she really? Oh my gosh, she is so creative, honestly. So here's a great comment from Craig Drebbett. Craig, of course, a huge skating fan, a huge sports fan. He drove on Osmond Way. I did not know there was an Osmond Way. You got to tell us about it.
Yeah, so after the 2014 Olympics, my hometown of Marystown renamed a street called Kaetlyn Osmond Drive. Well, they actually didn't rename a street. There's just a new street going in. And they renamed the Marystown Arena, which is where I first started skating, to the Kaetlyn Osmond Arena. I still find that completely mind-blowing. But after the 2018 Olympics, me, alongside another Olympian, Liam Hickey, he was in the Paralympic for hockey on Team Canada. We both got our own highways renamed after us. So he got Liam Hickey Drive or Way. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry. And mine was Osmond Way, and it's the one road leading into my hometown because there's only one way in.
One way in, and is there a way out? I have to ask.
There's one way in, and there's technically two ways out because there's ferries.
Oh yes, the old water.
Road.
Newfoundland and the old water. So here's a little something that maybe people do or don't know. You are a huge advocate of animals. So I want to talk first of all about this picture, which is adorable. Who is that little puppy, and why are you holding him?
I forget what that little puppy's name is, but I was doing an event for the Humane Society here in Toronto, representing Nulo, which is a dog food company that I've worked with in the past. My dog has only ever eaten Nulo, and my cat's been on it for like 3 or 4 years now. And they absolutely love it. My dog will not eat anything else. Well, actually, she'll eat my food, but she won't eat any other dog food. So I did an event for the Toronto Humane Society, and that little puppy was getting adopted that day. I wanted it for myself.
Who is this puppy?
That's my fluffy puppy. Right now, she's asleep on the chair behind me. You can see her collar. She's not that fluffy. But yeah, that's my fluffy puppy Rasket. And fun story about her, I got her the day before I went to Helsinki for Worlds.
So she's your good luck charm, indeed. So talking a little bit more about the Humane Society, people are trying to figure out ways to sort of help out with shelters and animal care. And this was 5,000 meals that were donated in order to help keep. Is that a fair assessment?
Your sound cut out on you there for a minute there, PJ.
I'm so sorry. It's just that Nulo, this is the dog food company that you've worked with. They donated 5,000 meals to sort of help keep animals fed. You sent me another picture ahead of time, Kaetlyn, that I got to ask you about. What is this? Manage your weekly energy availability. What does that even mean?
So that actually brings us back to Off the Rock. Like I said earlier, with the camps being postponed, I wanted to keep a way to keep the athletes very entertained. They're doing a lot of stuff on their own, but I wanted our little group to kind of stay connected. So I've been teaching the Off the Rock kids twice a week. And honestly, I haven't been teaching it at all. I've been just throwing it at other people. And that was one of the sessions that we had, which was yesterday's session of nutrition. So it was knowing how much energy you're giving out to how much energy you have to put back into your body. So I was learning about meals, what's the best way to recover, what's the best way to help you boost your energy, and then obviously stay hydrated.
When you think about nutrition and about staying healthy, is there one thing, I mean, being hydrated is one thing. Is there anything else that sort of is a go-to for you? Like, what is your go-to breakfast if you're competing, for instance? My
go-to breakfast when I was competing was often a banana or peanut butter or like instant oatmeal. I had a very weak stomach at competitions, very nervous stomach. So I could only handle very plain food. But one thing that I learned when I was competing was that my body was in the best shape as it could be while I was at the competition. So the week of competition was mainly fueling my body with things that I was comfortable eating, that would still give me the energy that I needed to perform the way I want it. But I couldn't think about it too much. So I had to just make warm things that made me happy. Coffee, like I said, I was going to put down in my post yesterday, but I didn't. It's still here.
Here's a question from one of our viewers. Nutella?
Nutella. When I competed, it was like my end of the year treat. I buy Nutella once a year. I forgot this year, but yeah, I buy Nutella once a year.
We're going to go out and get you some Nutella when it's safe, and I'll curbside pick up it for you. Pick it up, rather. Curbside pick up it. What is wrong with my brain today? Honest to goodness.
Coffee.
Yeah, I need some coffee. There's absolutely no question about that. If I were to ask you, I told people on Twitter that I was going to ask you about this particular photo, and if you pulled something, where is this picture? Who took? It's a beautiful picture, by the way. The composition is gorgeous. But did you hurt yourself?
Thankfully, no. Except this morning I was taking notes on something that I was working on, and I definitely pulled something in my neck. So I can't like tilt my head this way at all. I
can go both ways.
I can go this way. But that picture was taken at a studio here in Toronto. Love's Tea Studio, I believe the name was. And it was done by an amazing photographer, Barbara Ann Solomon. And mainly I wanted to have some content and show the world things that I do without actually showing them my home. But now I'm showing them my home, so it doesn't really mean anything.
Well, we're just seeing that one corner. Don't worry. We're just seeing basically kitchen cupboards. It's fine.
But no, that studio was gorgeous. I wish it was like available to own, but it's not. I'm ready to jump in and own it. But it was fun.
Do you find that as you're doing the whole sort of off the rock thing, there are all these young people who are looking up to you? There are lots of young people who are probably watching this from at home. What are sort of two tips that you could give them for sort of getting through this COVID confinement, let's call it, and thinking about getting back on the ice?
One of the biggest things is don't think about it too much.
Okay.
Do things every day that make you feel good. Right now, there's a lot of negativity in the world because of we're in a pandemic. I can't speak either. So there's a lot of negativity in the world that way. But something I've come to enjoy is when I walk my dog in the morning, there's people out smiling. Like you could see that there's a lot of energy that's still super positive, and people are enjoying being home a lot more. I know my dog is a lot happier with me because I'm literally with her 24/7.
Yeah, mine too.
So I love seeing that positivity. So it's picking one thing a day that you just notice. And then not thinking too far ahead, because we don't know what the future is yet. We don't know when we're going to get back on the ice or get back to work or return to school. Like we don't know. And worrying about that is going to add a lot of stress to you right now. Worry about it when it gets there. Do what you can to stay healthy and everything now, but it's going to suck no matter what when you get back. I'm sorry to tell you, but it is. Yeah.
What's the part that's going to suck the most?
Being able to see friends and all that stuff, it's going to be fantastic. Getting back to normalcy is going to be fantastic. But relearning how to skate really sucks.
And you've had to do that.
I have. I broke my leg, so I literally couldn't do anything. But that was only for 7 weeks, and I'm now beyond that in this. So this is officially the longest I've ever taken off the ice.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. When you took that first step back onto the ice, hello, cat. Oh, that's a cute cat. What's its name?
Annie.
Annie the cat.
Since I was 10. Her actual name is Raggedy Ann because she's a ragdoll cat. I was a very creative 10-year-old.
And you've had her since you were 10?
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you, Kat. You're still jumping. So when we were just talking about getting back on the ice, because a lot of coaches are telling me that when skaters actually get back on the ice, that they're going to have to treat it as if they've been injured, that they're going to have to approach the ice slowly and carefully. So from your experience, getting back on the ice after an injury, what is that like? Do you feel sort of off center, off balance at first? Like what is it like?
Completely. Skating is not like riding a bike. Also, I'm not good at riding bikes sometimes, so I don't know why that's a thing. But something that I've noticed getting back on is that your body remembers. It does remember what to do, but you need to reteach it or refocus it. So, like, to get on the ice, take it easy, do easy steps. The first day I got back on the ice, I stayed on 2 feet for 10 minutes. I didn't even get off one foot. It was terrifying. But it's doing those simple, easy things and letting your body remember that and then move on. So think of one thing new every day and don't take it too hard. It was a month before I got back to even thinking about trying double axels or triples. And then I still rushed it. I rushed it too fast once I started doing my double axel and triples, and it ended up me getting slightly re-injured, more like my ankle just kind of gave out on me again. And I ended up having to take another 6 weeks off because of it. So it's taking your time and trusting your coaches. The coaches know when to push you and how to push you. So it's trusting them, but also trusting your body. You know if you're getting overworked or too tired, or if you're not keeping up easy enough. But yeah. And have fun with it. Don't get too serious. No, it's too serious.
Well, because it doesn't help you at the end of the day, does it? The whole
We're all
series.
hope when we get back. There's no hope.
So let's just accept what it is, my friends, right?
Accept it and then be very excited when you're proven wrong.
That's the way to do it. Listen, one of the things that we've talked about in your future, and you talked about it out loud, was that you were considering going back to school. That is that in question for the moment, or what are the priorities for you in terms of the rest of your life?
Well,
the things in your life.
I'm really excited to go to school. I start school in September. I really hope that doesn't change. I'm really looking forward to it, even if it's for an online program right now. Right now, I'm planning on going to school, but that's in September. And like I said, I'm not putting anything behind me saying that like we're going to actually be allowed to go to school in September. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. But I still want to do shows. I still want to teach seminars. I have a lot of goals still that I have in mind, and that those are some of them, is to do shows and do seminars. And thankfully, my school is being lenient with that and understanding with it, that hopefully I can do this courses online. And I think this is a good proof to the schools and to even jobs that we can do so much remotely and through virtual ways. So that this actually probably helps me in my school career now.
Yeah.
So
the observation.
Doing all of that. I'm really missing the show season right now. I had the winter mainly off, so I was really excited to get back to work and to perform. But
it's funny. Terry Rance said the same thing. Wondering if you're missing the show season.
Oh my gosh, I am. We had a small little Zoom or iPhone chat with some of the other cast last night, and because we would have been done the Toronto leg, Ontario leg this weekend, and yeah, it's super sad. I was really looking forward to Stars on Ice this year. Every day I look at my calendar, the shows are all still up there, and I'm writing over them of the other things that I have to do now. So it's really upsetting that way. But I just miss everyone.
And you know what? Everyone misses you. Like, that's the thing. The cool thing is
fun programs choreographed too.
Really?
Yeah, I have a bat. It's hidden now, but I bedazzled a bat for one of my numbers because I wanted to be Harley Quinn.
Or Kirsten Moore Towers, one of the two.
Oh, yeah.
She's the queen of bedazzling. We know that, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe I should talk about to help me bedazzle the bat.
Who helped you bedazzle the bat?
One of my friends, Jessie Garon, she helped me choreograph the number. Her and Kurt choreographed the number for me. So one day after we finished working, we went to a store and just bought like glitter galore and bedazzled a bat that Kurt found in his basement. So...
You know what? Skaters are incorrigible. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you.
Props. So,
well, there is the skating, props, bedazzling. It all makes sense to me. This is from our friend in Australia, Howard Bannister, Aussie Skates Facebook page. You should check it out. He loves your advice about sort of taking your time and taking it easy. And as far as I'm concerned, Kaetlyn, you are a wonderful role model for skaters. You're a wonderful role model for people. I don't know if people know this, but one of my favorite podcast interviews is with you. And one of my favorite responses ever to a question was from you, because it tells me what kind of a person you are. And I asked you, it was at Skate Canada. You had a really bad free program and you fell a lot.
I did. I fell a lot in the short and long. It just was bad about.
It was just, I thought, oh my goodness, shouldn't that girl take her guards off? But that was just me. Anyway. So I had to ask you the question, of course, about, why didn't you just tone down the triples and just do doubles, and then you were going to land them? And you said, I didn't feel like I could, if I'm paraphrasing, but basically you said, if you had done anything other than try all of those jumps, then you wouldn't have been satisfied with yourself, that the success was in trying at the very least and not leaving anything on the table. So in giving me this last word on this broadcast, actually the last word belongs to you giving it to me, the last word, get it? I want you to talk about sort of your philosophy about life and what skating has taught you and what you hope to sort of share with the world.
And skating's taught me that no matter what position you're in, you're going to have negative moments. You're going to be set back a lot. But it's continuously trying. And like you said, on that day when I fell a lot, I said I just needed to try. And that's because I had just gotten back from a major setback. It's when I got back from injury. And I knew that if I didn't try, that would have been my last event. I didn't want to try anymore. I didn't want to give up anymore, I guess I should say. So that's what skating's taught me, is that you can only try. It might not always work, but the more you try and the more you keep pushing forward, it'll motivate you even more, or give yourself a belief that you can. And that's what I'm trying to move forward with now, is that even with things maybe not great, there's something to look forward to, and you can only try.
You know what, Kaetlyn Osmond, you are an absolute treat, as always. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. If you guys want to continue to post comments and feedback on Facebook and on YouTube, I'll continue to answer. And in the meantime, all the best. You are a rock star off the rock. You are an off the rock star. See what I just did there? Thanks so much, Kaetlyn. Bye for now.
Bye.